Maloney here, ready to read one of my new favorite books. This is a nonfiction story, which means that it is true. So you're going to be learning some facts with me today about an extremely interesting astronaut. And his name is Alan Bean, and he was the astronaut who painted the moon. So this is for my space lovers and my art lovers out there. You know who you are. And I have actually read this to my class this year, but it was such a fun read. I know you're going to love hearing it again. And it is written by Dean Robbins and illustrated by Sean Rubin. So let's get to it. It starts with a quote from none other but Alan Bean himself. "My paintings record the beginnings of a quest, never to end, our journey out among the stars." Lights flashed. A rocket rumbled. Alan Bean's dream was about to come true. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The rocket roared off the launch pad. Alan shook his heavy spacesuit. The other astronauts were shaking too. Richard Gordon flipped switches on the control panel. "That's a lovely liftoff," Pete Conrad shouted over the noise. The shaking stopped as the spacecraft gained speed. Alan was in outer space. He had trained for so long as an astronaut and a scientist, and soon he would walk on the moon. Look at them. They're upside down. Can you imagine zooming off at incredible speeds upside down? Makes my stomach spin just thinking about it. Alan gazed out the window, marveling at the shapes and colors in space. The sky turned to black. The earth was a blue and white ball glowing in the darkness. The moon was many shades of gray. Its mountains and craters seemed bigger the closer he got. Alan loved to think about the way things looked. As a boy, he made model airplanes to hang in his room. Green for the wings, red stripes for the tail, yellow stars along the sides. He dreamed of being a brave pilot himself one day. Oh, look at this. In his bedroom, there's a poster. U.S. Navy Aviation. Apply today. Wow. Did you see that? Alan volunteered for Navy flight training. He learned to take off, soar through the air, and glide in for a smooth landing. The earth looked breathtaking from the cockpit. The white clouds above, the green fields below, the blue all around. Alan wished he could paint what he saw. Look at that. Have you ever been in an airplane? I always feel like when I'm up high in an airplane, I'm looking down at a big quilt with all of the different patches and squares of fabric that make the earth. He found an art class to teach him about patterns and forms. Alan dabbed his brush on canvas to paint a vase of flowers. His flowers didn't look exactly real, but he didn't want them to. They were brighter and bolder than real ones because he let his imagination take over. The painting showed how stunning the flowers looked through Alan's eyes, how they made him feel. The spacecraft flew 240,000 miles in 4 days. The moon was so close, Alan could see valleys and ridges. He and Pete got ready to walk on a new world. Alan strapped on an oxygen pack so he could breathe outside. He stepped through the hatch to the most amazing sight. Okay, I want you to pretend you're strapping on your oxygen pack. You ready? You ready to step through the hatch? Okay, let's see. Wow. The moon was barren, but also beautiful in its own way. Gray dust as far as he could see, thousands of black craters, hard white sunlight, and everything perfectly still. Alan and Pete pushed a red, white, and blue American flag into the dust. Alan puzzled over the strangeness of outer space. He and Pete took dozens of photographs. They set up scientific experiments to measure the moon's soil and gases. Even in his spacesuit, Alan was much lighter than on Earth. He had fun bouncing around on his tiptoes. He could run and run without getting tired. His boots made deep marks where no one had stepped before. Alan was super strong in the moon's gravity. He threw a rock and watched it go up, up, up. Would it ever come down again? Alan's friends asked him about his time in space. What was it like up there? He tried to explain the moon's barren beauty, but words weren't enough, and his photographs just showed a grim and gloomy place. There's so much more to the moon than that, so much magic and mystery. How could Alan share his story so others would understand? Oops, I skipped this part. I'll go out of order, that's okay. The three astronauts zoomed back to Earth at 25,000 miles an hour. They splashed into the Pacific Ocean to end their awesome adventure. Oh, can you imagine landing in the middle of an ocean? That must have been terrifying, but also exhilarating. What do you think it means when he keeps calling the moon barren? Think about the moon. It's not like a city that we're used to living where there's lots of people and lots of traffic and lots of buildings and lots of trees. It's completely empty and still. It's barren. It's almost like it's empty. He pulled out his paints and brushes. Alan knew he was the only artist ever to leave the Earth, the only artist ever to see the moon up close. Maybe a painting could show how it felt to be in outer space. Alan began his work like a scientist. He built a model of the moon's surface and used an electric light as the sun. The model helped him paint the angles and the shadows just right. Then Alan let his imagination take over. He added red and purple to the gray dust, blue and green to the black craters, yellow and orange to the white sunlight. The moon didn't look exactly real, but Alan didn't want it to. The painting showed how stunning outer space looked through his eyes, how it made him feel. He hoped others would feel the same thing, the wonder of walking on a new world. Wow, look at these beautiful paintings. Alan liked his moon painting so much, he did another one, and another, and another after that. He mixed even brighter, bolder colors on his palette. Could he add real pieces of outer space to his paintings? Alan tried stamping them with his astronaut boots. He scratched them with tools that he used on the moon. He sprinkled dust from his spacesuit onto the wet paint. The surfaces grew as rough and rugged as the moon itself. So cool. He's adding texture to his painting, making them almost 3D in some places. A museum displayed Alan's paintings for everyone to see. Other astronauts came to remember their own awesome adventures in space. Boys and girls came too. They marveled at the shapes and colors. They felt the wonder of walking on a new world. Some dreamed of being brave astronauts themselves one day. Others dreamed of being great artists. And some dreamed of being both. All right, so this is the end of the book. It's really cool. It shows a real photograph of Alan Bean. Look at him right there. Do you see how he's wearing like a painter's apron? And so here's just a little bit about him. He was born in 1932 and he passed away in 2018. So just a couple years ago, he passed away. He grew up loving airplanes. He loved making beautiful things, beginning with the model planes that he hung in his bedroom. He took his first painting class in 1961 at the same time that he trained to be a daring Navy pilot. And let's see, he went to the moon in the Apollo 12 mission, and he became the 4th person to walk on the moon. So amazing. When he came home, he had a hero's welcome with a parade in his honor, and congratulations from the president himself, and he flew another mission into space, but he left NASA in 1981 so he could focus on his art. So he had just a really cool artist's eye because he could use his science and his background in NASA to create these one-of-a-kind, amazing paintings. So take a look. I love this part. These are photographs that he took, or that were taken, of Alan Bean when he was actually walking on the lunar surface. This one was taken during that Apollo 12 mission in November 20th, 1969. And then look at the painting he created from that, or from that photograph. And then the other one as well, up at the top, this is actually Alan Bean taken by Pete Conrad during that same mission, and he's collecting some soil in that picture. And then here's how Alan Bean created the painting. I love how colorful he made them. And then he also had this painting that he created of the moon, just a partial view, or not of the moon, of the Earth actually, when he was on the moon. So really pretty cool. And then the last thing, I won't read it all, but this is really neat. The very back of the book includes this huge timeline of just all the different space explorations beginning in 1957, and it goes all the way through 2011. And there's some really other cool photographs of Pioneer 4 spacecraft, astronaut John Glenn. This is showing Voyager 2, and the Hubble Space Telescope, Mercury taken from Messenger. So cool. Okay, well, I hope that you liked this story, and I hope you enjoyed traveling out to space today and looking at things from an artist's eye. All right, until next time.